Hey everyone, we're back with an update on the Super Chat heist. Hullabaloo. Let's get into it. I made some notes and I was just watching. Typical. They're chirping. As soon as you talk, they chirp. Please excuse them. They like to join in. They're giving their opinions on Dirty D. I made some notes to try and stay on point, and I was just watching quickly while I was setting up because I got to my car and it was too dark, so I had to come back in. I was just watching the rest of Diane's stream because I didn't get through it. There is a video before this that I haven't yet edited, exported and uploaded, so there's a chapter missing, an episode missing, should I say, right? I couldn't listen to it all. I turned it off, definitely from midway. Could have been a bit before, but definitely from midway. I didn't carry on listening to it, and I was stoked by the whole, I don't know, it just felt like she was doing what narcissists kind of do. They blame shift, dance around it, pranticize around it, and refuse to touch on what you want them to touch on. They withhold. So I wasn't expecting anything more, but to observe it is something else. See, for me, right, this is because I've had conversations before with Diane about humility, all right, and there was one time when I felt that she'd used humility to converse with this individual, and I felt she did a good job. And even though I felt she did a good job and it was a more preferred way to handle this situation, I did wonder at the time whether it was just mirrored. Anyway, the reason why I think we don't see humility and normal things like evidence of shame or regret or grief or even anything that normal people, healthy, should I say, not normal, healthy human beings would do if they were caught, banged to rights after the biggest Super Chat heist known in DC, TC and Boyd and every individual scam in each of those communities combined, okay? We've had PayPal scams, GoFundMe scams, and here we are now on a Super Chat heist, right? Because that's all this was. And for me, now I understand the excitement of Diane being so quick to go live about anything and everything, because at that time it was all just a money maker, wasn't it? A chance to profit, a chance to gain, and a chance to bring more money in. She was, after all, she claims to be business minded, and that's all we know of her. So drama was her business. Super Chat was her currency. For me, anyway. So I think we didn't see any humility, any sorrow, any grief, any regret, any remorse, any genuine sadness, because even though she claims she has personal reasons why she can't cry, for me, narcissists mirror, right? They don't have, you have to remember that they don't have a personality of their own. So they mirror off all the people or the closest person to them. They mirror back what they think you need to see, or to stay hidden and covert, right? And when she went out on that panel on her own, she didn't have anyone to mirror. Plus, she hasn't been in this situation before. So say if it was a cheating narcissist and it was their second time cheating, right? They'd be able to play the remorse better than the first time because they'll have learned where they screwed up, how they screwed up. They're very cunning, right? So if they get caught a second time, it wouldn't be abnormal for them to really get into showing you some emotions to express their regret, to make it believable, right? Because they'll have learned where they messed up after the first time. And for this, there's no one to mirror. You know, like, do you know, like, say when narcissists get caught if they've killed their partner, right? And we watch them on interviews, say Chris Watts, for example, right? If you watched how he was stood on his porch, I think it was his porch, when we're telling the truth, we're simply telling the truth, right? The brain doesn't need to work super hard to try and come up with facts or instances, because it's recorded them. They happened. They were they're memories, right? So it's simple. You pull them up. When you're lying, you're using a certain side of your brain. So, for example, right, try and tell a lie and stir a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, right? Try and tell a lie and carry on with that action. It's really difficult, right? So for me, when I saw Chris Watts, I felt he was lying straight away because he was rooted to the spot, right? And frozen, like the guy with the twins, not twins, the little brothers that went missing not that long ago. If you watched him, he's rooted to the spot and his arms are like that, right? And I find liars and narcissists try and adopt that stance because they think they're being smart by not giving you any body language to pick up on, because they're just giving you a taut, tense, you know, does this pass for anxious body language, right? But when we are stressed and we are worried and we are upset, say if somebody had gone missing, you would likely see more pacing and looking around and your eyes darting everywhere, because you're like, I don't know where my other half is and they're missing, or I don't know where my kids are and they're missing. And I noticed with both of them, they become like trees rooted to the spot. They can't move, right? And for me, I think it's because they're working really hard to try and keep this lie going and keep finding answers that sound like they're telling the truth, right? And a lot of them get caught, like when we have like body language experts or other experts in that field that look for micro expressions or other tells that we give away when we're lying or we're not being honest, right? And for me, with Diane, I did feel like her demeanour on that panel, she didn't have anything to mirror to pull this off, to seem natural. And that's why I think we didn't see any humility, any sorrow, any regret, any remorse, because there isn't any, and she just doesn't have any, kind of thing. That's where my head is. Share your thoughts if they're different. They're fine if they're different, okay? Don't listen to me. Don't assume me to know a thing. I know nothing, ever, about anything. One thing that bothers me is, like, we'd noticed, some of us, and we'd spoke about it behind the scenes, right? We just noticed, though, that whenever Diane was going live, Wendy was rarely present. And I specifically said, I do think there's an issue, because I don't believe that she's ill. All these times, I don't believe that she's ill. Bollocks. We're not going out anywhere. We're not mixing with anyone to get ill because of COVID. And I know you could have other health issues, but I just didn't buy it, right? I just didn't buy it. Anyway, there was a stream the other night where that was mentioned, that there had been cracks and there had been issues. And it kind of bothers me because Wendy's normally a person that always has questions. She will always say, I have questions, right? And questions are good, questions are healthy. But we're not seeing her ask any. And that's, for me, that's alarming. Like, I guess she probably just wants to distance herself from this, move away from this and never have to think of it again. But what was going on? Like, because I'm thinking there could have been red flags that would tell or would have told her something, you know, if she'd have picked up on them. Which, if things were rocky and she was kind of drifting away for the last few weeks or months, I can't remember which one it was, something was wrong, wasn't it? Something was wrong. So that keeps nagging away at me and bothering me about that whole issue. It's like if you take a bird's eye view of everything, things had been wonky for a while, especially over there. They had. And the drama was heightened. I don't know if any of you recall when Diane found out that Tiffany was going to ring St. Jude up herself after that whole shindig that went down. I never got over that rage. And even though I'd had suspicions since I started definitely since I started tweeting about Tucker, because I was trying to get the people in Diane's to start using direct links. I wanted them to, right? Her behaviour to hearing that Tiffany had called St. Jude blew me away. It was like pure narcissistic rage. She went off. She went mental. And the threats with the law and all this. And then we've heard, like, in the gap of Diane's absence before she went live the other day, we were told she were getting legal stuff together. Now, for me personally on YouTube, right, that's one of your red flags of an online narc. The one that's threatening everyone with the law and lawyers, because you notice odd ones a lot do that because in their mind they really think that some cop is going to come walking along, come on YouTube and at their behest arrest us all for doing whatever it is they think that we're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I kept thinking all that lawyer stuff. What do you mean lawyer stuff? Like, that was a red flag to me when we kept hearing that. But now when I was just catching some of the rest of Diane's stream, she said that she never said that. There was never anything to do with any law. So what the hell was she doing in this time span of she needed to get things sorted out before she could come live and address everybody? I have too many questions. That's my problem. And it is this, like, if you think about it, it's the biggest super chat heist we know about, isn't it? Like, it's a legit heist. We've all been heisted. She, for me, has worked that drama. She, for me, has picked up on how people hit that super chat button when they are in a heightened frenzy over nothing, just crazy drama that's not about anything. It's kind of cunning, isn't it? Cunningly smart. Because she's monopolised the drama to benefit her. Totally. And I don't want to hear not one person from that side, not one soul from that side say anywhere they're a good judge of character. Anywhere, right? The crap, bullets and heat I have took for liking certain people and leaving comments in certain places. And the comments that other people have made about, if you like that person, you're like this, or if you like that person, this means that about you, right? I don't want to hear a word. My discernment on people works completely fine, all right? Because all the red flags on the people that I've seen, they've all come to fruition, right? However, the other side apparently never picked up any red flags about this individual, about any of her behaviour that everybody else has been screaming about for ages or pointing out for ages. None of them saw, heard a thing off. None of them. The coddling and enabling over that side, right? I watched Yaba go up on Wendy's panel yesterday, I believe. And she went up there and she spoke and addressed Wendy. And they were discussing things about her channel. And for me, I want a friend like that, right? That comes and talks to you honestly, without being cruel and abusive. And they can do it publicly without making you look a fool, right? Because anytime that side do address anything or anyone, right, it's sheer chaos, hate, abuse. The language is so aggressive, verbally aggressive, right? And Yaba went up there yesterday and showed everybody how it's done when you try and point your friend in the right direction. Because I know for me, if I don't give a toss, I don't even bother going to the person to say, when you did this, it bothered me. When you did that, it bothered me. If I don't give a damn, I don't waste my time, right? But if I feel like it's a two-way street and there's care from both, like not just from my side, but from the other side, then I will take my time to do that. And what she did yesterday on that panel, I'd recommend you go and watch it if you haven't done. on Wendy's, on Onewen's channel. She gave her really good advice. Really good advice. Our boundaries, right, are individual to us. So, like, in a way, like, because over there, right, they want to be clear that they don't want doxers over there and they don't want real lifers over there, right? But no one wants them type of people around, generally speaking, that do that. But the situation with the doxing, there's been lots of instances where someone's been being horrendously attacked, or their family's been being attacked. So they've doxed the person in retaliation for coming for their family and possibly doxing them, right? So this whole doxing issue, as awful and as toxic as it is, like, it doesn't just go to doxing, right? You've got to look at behaviours that escalate situations. And if you've got an asshole coming at you, right, think it through. Is it necessary to be an asshole back? Or just either be quiet, right? Or just deal with it in a more healthier way without being aggressive and volatile back. Like, the basic communication skills in the DC are null and void pretty much, right? Because all the ones that can communicate and that are really good communicators, i.e. Yaba and PF, for example, right? And Sam, they're barely around. They're barely around. All the ones that... they've all gone. They've cleared off. They've had enough, right? But the advice she was trying to give her, I took it kind of as like, concern yourself with your own boundaries, right? Doxing goes on here. Awful stuff goes on here. Concern yourself with keeping yourself safe, right? So be careful with how you conduct yourself, because later down the line, it might come back to bite you on the ass kind of thing, right? Because if you're sat up there saying, we don't want this here and we don't want that here and we don't want this, it comes across in a way kind of narcissistic, because it's like you're setting yourself apart from everybody else and everybody else is less than, and it's as though only your way is the way, right? And it kind of rubs people up the wrong way as well, right? Which... you don't want to be rubbing people up the wrong way, not on purpose, right? So, and then people that get rubbed up the wrong way or take offence, like, oh, I don't know how to explain it. Just go and watch what Yaba said. She explained it perfectly. She was saying that this stuff goes on this platform. It ain't our responsibility. Our boundary, right, our own healthy boundaries is about us, right? It's none of our responsibility to be worrying about that person, and all these other people and trying to keep them all safe, right? That's their individual responsibility. Their boundary, right, our own healthy boundaries is about us, right? It's none of our responsibility to be worrying about that person, and all these other people and trying to keep them all safe, right? That's their individual responsibility, their own, right? So don't... just go and watch it, okay? It was fantastic. I don't want to play it. I've taken the piss with playing people's streams enough. Okay, I don't want to play this one. I'll leave the link below. Go over and watch it. She said it eloquently, clearly, without screaming or shouting, without being abusive, offensive or cruel, right? It was really good. And I think that's the right approach. For me, I'm glad that this reign of Diane has come to an end, because it was out of control. The toxicity, the fighting, the chaos, the confusion, their own rules that were set over there, they would contradict their own rules, right? They would only expect their enemies to obey their rules, right? So you want people that you don't like and that you make it obvious you don't like to pay respect to your rules. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. They, right, if it's like this with this whole Diane thing, they've all got the balls to sit on panels screaming at us in comment sections, which is what got me up here on this bloody channel in the first place, talking about anything to do with drama, right? They scream at you or tell you off or give you verbal abuse or put you down or try and humiliate you, shame you, embarrass you, right, in front of your peers for a comment, right? But you've got a solid super chat heister, right, that was your friend for I don't know how many years, and no one can say a word that she's taken a load of money off people meant for children with cancer, and no one can say a word about it. It's a non-issue. Leave it alone. We don't need to discuss it. And yeah, I'm just looking at them like, do you know what? You're making yourselves a laughing stock, not addressing it, right? Like, now is the time for healthy change and handling things in a better, healthier way. If it's going to happen, now's that time. And I don't see anyone stepping up to do that, right? This community doesn't need a leader. We can all lead ourselves. We can all lead ourselves. And it's just such a letdown because they can't wait to jump on strangers' backs to scold them, right, for perceived crimes. But when it's their own friends, no, everyone's to go easy on them, right? If I was used to being up on panels, for example, right, and I was on panel with someone and they were saying something that, I don't know, was particularly bad, I would say, hey, well, no, I ain't down for this. Don't be saying this. Can we just stop? Just stop, right? And just say, I don't agree with how you're going about attacking this person. Whatever, okay? But they can't ever tell their friends that. And I mean, to see Yaba do it yesterday or last night was refreshing because it never happens. And it doesn't have to be done. We don't want to see that side. Well, me especially. I don't want to see that side abuse their friends publicly, shame them and embarrass them like they like to do to the other side, right? But just calling a few things out and saying, do you know what? I am disgusted that I was friends with this person for so long and had no clue they were doing that behind my back. Whatever, say something, right? Because saying nothing, silence is complicity, all right? It's like you're not that bothered about it. That's what it screams. If you're not going to say anything, right, then it looks like you're not that bothered about it. And for me, if I was in Randy's position, I would have no problem if this was me and my friend. Pick one, right? This was me and my friend. If this was, I'll use Jenna for an example, right? If this was me and Jenna and I've just found out that she's done this, right? I would have no problem saying on a panel, I don't know what's going to happen with our friendship because we've got to talk. I don't know what's going on between us, but I'm going to make it clear to you, I had nothing to do with this. I am disgusted and ashamed and I need to reevaluate the whole thing and I need time, something, anything, right? Need to condemn the action publicly at least. Anyway, moving on to something lighter and brighter. Me and Irish, right? We have someone in Boyd, Jeff T. Rowe, and Cameo alerted me to the fact that he'd set up, in memory of his wife, a pledge direct to St. Jude. He wanted, in memory of his wife, to try and get his community to raise 1k in memory of his wife, right? It hasn't even got halfway. It hasn't even got to $500. So I'm going to be sharing his link. It's completely direct. Absolutely direct. Nobody sees or touches the money except St. Jude. And me and Irish are looking at making a community pledge to St. Jude. Because I just feel like some of this money, we need to pay it back. Or we can make a concerted effort to try and pay some of it back. Whether we put a 5k cap on it and have it sat there for 18 months. I don't even think there's a limit on how long you can have these pledges, right? Because you can just set up this pledge and you can watch it go up and up and up, right? And it all goes direct. So we're looking at, because what we're supposed to do with this, St. Jude now, and I hate to even say it, right? But I can't picture that without picturing Tucker and Diane now, right? The two are intertwined. It feels gross. So to make it, I don't know, less tainted, and for a way, not that anyone's, we're all on the same plane with anything, but for just like a foot in the right direction to do something, right? Some positive action needs to be done. I can't get over the amount of money missing that should have gone. I can't pay that back. The community as a whole, we could look at doing that, right? Instead of everybody just going and making their individual donations, we could have a community pledge. All the channel holders throughout the community, no matter what side they're on, could share it, right? And we can try and regroup or recoup some of the money that should have got there. She won't even tell us an amount that did go there, right? So we're looking at setting up a pledge of 5k, a community pledge for all of us. So we're going to try and share Jeff's pledge to get his wife's pledge, the one in memory of his wife's, in memory of his wife. I'm messing this all up. Trying to get his pledge fulfilled, right? Because that poor guy, it's been sat there for ages. It's not even on $300, right? It's direct. Everyone's been super chatting Diane for St. Jude when everyone could have just been directly sending it to Jeff's link and getting his pledge, you know, admitted in memory of his wife. I mean, it's more beautiful than the hammering the super chat for hate though, isn't it? And writing Tiffany wants kids with cancer to die and all the rest of the shit that they've wrote on there. Do you know what I mean? That made it tainted for me from the off. And I'm telling you now, I don't care who you are. I don't want money from people that are up to that shit and scamming and bullying and harassing people and making people feel like shit. Because that would be what she used to say. St. Jude don't care how the money's raised. Oh, really? No. I'm sure they're desperate and they need every penny, right? But I'm sure the families or even the children themselves wouldn't like to know at what cost that money was raised. All right? No, they wouldn't. Who would? Who in all good conscience would be able to live with that idea? Oh, it's all right that someone was possibly pushed to self-harm or to hurt themselves or to leave or to whatever, right? But it's okay because we got the money. Behave. Typical flipping narc response. They don't care how this money's raised. What, so they don't care about ethics and principles and morals, do they not? Do they not? So they'll accept... Please. I'm sure if someone knew. Not that they wouldn't accept it, but how is that chain of events right? That you're pushing and bullying and harassing people, but it's okay because the money goes to sick children. Sorry, the two don't go together for me. Never will either. And Diane again with the quietness. Anytime you call that lady a liar, there she is, right? Not anymore. Now you can call her a narcopath, you can say anything. And she's nowhere. But someone, my source, did alert me earlier that she was busy hearting comments somewhere. So, because they were being hearted, whatever that was, because it's not under the live, there's no comments section. Oh, and about that pledge, the 5k, right, because I want it to be reasonable. It's all right saying, oh, set it for 15k, set it for 10. But is that reasonable for a community of our size? Poor Jeff's not even reached his 1k goal, right? So 5k, and you, Dirty D, you can match it. You can match it. You can match it. I think that's it. I think that covers everything. I'm just moaning today. I'm just fed up, annoyed with the whole thing. I'm annoyed with her silence. I'm annoyed with her friend's silence. I just wish they'd validate what their friend did. There's still someone in a comment section, I saw it before underneath one of Stewie's vids. There's still people that don't believe she's done anything wrong or they're unsure, right? She told you that she's misappropriated the money and that she kept some and it didn't all go to where it was supposed to. She told you. And she won't show any receipts. She won't show receipts to show the community how much she sent. I've got a receipt from St. Jude. It comes direct to you as soon as you drop your donation. Go and make a small donation. See how easy it is to get a receipt. And then ask Diane why it's impossible that she shows them. It's impossible she shows them because she ain't got any. Alright, because I guarantee you now, right, that woman loves nothing better than coming out on that panel and giving it the big I am. Where is she coming out this time giving it the big I am? The time when it actually matters. All this drama fodder that's gone on, doesn't matter who she is, but now there's a factor of her proving that she's as moral and as honest as she's had everyone believe. She can't do it. Where is she? She's ghosting. Put 2 and 2 together, it makes 4. If you can't show receipts for a whole load of money that was given to you to give to a charity, and you're going to have all this fuckery go on and all this stuff said, fall out with one of your best friends, let both friends take bullets, have all these people walk away, please, you'd show the receipts. There isn't any. I'll wrap it up here. But you know what? If you had red flags, saw red flags, or had off vibes with her, right? You were right. People that never had off vibes or never had red flags or felt there was anything going on that was wrong, right, with any of her behaviour, it just means that you need to listen to yourself more and be more in tune to your own intuition. The people that did get their vibes and listen to them, that's your gift. Don't waste it. Listen to them. That'll wrap this up. Okay, sorry it's a bit boring today. I hope you're doing well. Prayers please for Shell from Sunday House Live. She's back in the hospital. She's got COVID pneumonia. The last check-in, the last update, MJ said she was still coughing bad. She still had a bad cough. Her breathing was laboured, but she was in really good spirits. So if you do see her, please send lots of love and prayers and light for Shell. She gets better soon. Good luck to everybody. Until next time. Bye for now.